Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and does Deadpool and Wolverine have a pruned 20th Century Fox logo from our reality now in the void of the TVA as a throwaway meta joke, as part of a mission by Wade Wilson to save the MCU and save the Fox X-Men film realities, or is there something else that we are all missing? Is the real agenda of this third Deadpool film to finally answer the mystery of why Deadpool talks to the audience? What made him start doing this? And is it all connected to this crazy set piece of the 20th Century Fox logo? I believe the answer to this question is connected to the different side of the TVA we are seeing in this film, the deeper significance of the name Paradox, and what's really happening every time anyone in the MCU looks at us. And before I get into it, the best way to support New Rockstars is to grab one of our great shirt designs at nerdriot.shop. I'm wearing a Deadpool Multiverse Tour shirt. I think you'll like it. Grab one. Okay, in a nutshell, I think that Deadpool will form a new category of beings in the MCU along with Jennifer Walters and Wanda Maximoff. Maybe you could put the Watcher in there as well. Beings that we have called NEXUS beings, but despite Deadpool calling himself Marvel Jesus, these characters are not all-powerful gods. They are mistakes. They acquired this status by becoming glitches, or you could say paradoxes, to the code of the MCU matrix that allows them to see the cinematic framing of the universe or universes that they live in. Meanwhile, to all other MCU characters, these glitches are just seen as weirdos who occasionally look off into a corner and start muttering to themselves. So while we, the audience, can see the 20th Century Fox logo and Deadpool can definitely see it, it might be like invisible to all other characters in this void, or it might just kind of look like a vague block of nothing. Like imagine the hosts of Westworld looking at something and just not recognizing what it is. That doesn't look like anything to me. Like these characters would not know what the 20th Century Fox logo is. Now, how does this work in the comics? In the comics, She-Hulk and Deadpool break the fourth wall, but it's really just like a stylistic choice because both characters were conceived to be satire or parody of the comic book medium. Deadpool at times actually explored his meta commentary as a character trait. The assumption was that Wade Wilson is just insane and that he hears voices. He hears the voice of the audience and he just thinks he's a comic book character in a comic book world. And really all of this is just a reflection of Deadpool's ego in his mania and his anxiety. Alternatively, his breaking of the fourth wall could be seen as an extension of his healing ability. Like perhaps on a cosmic or metaphysical or even psychological scale, his mind is healing from a separation anxiety caused by his awareness of a wall separating him and these unseen observers, us, and he kind of heals himself by just talking to us. Now, when we watched the 2016 Deadpool film and the 2018 film Deadpool 2, we didn't really question this too much because Deadpool just kind of seemed like he was living in his own Looney Tunes reality where he could reference Kevin Feige and Zack Snyder movies, and the fact that there was both a Patrick Stewart and a James McAvoy version of Charles Xavier, and that Hugh Jackman to him was just someone on a magazine cover that he wore as a mask. But now that Deadpool is joining the more structured reality of the MCU, even in the logical framework of the TVA, Wade's Bugs Bunny existence now makes him a fish out of water, and it's going to be seen as a unique ability with some kind of source or origin to everyone who sees him do this. Like, I don't think Wade Wilson could just get away with talking to camera anymore. This ability is going to be seen as an asset by the TVA because they realize that he is speaking into a dimension that they are not able to see. So how did Wade Wilson's fourth wall breaking start in the cinematic universe? Because now that Deadpool is coming into the MCU, we have a separate film continuity that is merging with the bylaws of the MCU. Well, when you rewatch the 2016 Deadpool movie, Wade does not begin breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience until he gets his regeneration healing powers and takes on the identity of Deadpool. The 2016 movie, remember, has this interesting narrative structure in which it opens with Deadpool on the freeway and spends most of the movie there with Deadpool as our narrator cutting back to his backstory via flashback. And during these flashbacks, he never turns to camera until he becomes Deadpool. Chronologically, the first time he talks to us, it's during the montage when he's hunting down Francis, aka Ajax.
This shit's gonna have nuts in it. Is the mask muffling my voice?
Now, yes, before that point chronologically, the Deadpool film had made various meta jokes like having Feige's famous pizza or Wade telling the scientists not to give him a suit that was green or animated. But these lines here where he talks to us are the first time in his life he actually breaks the fourth wall. And thereafter in his life, he's turning to talk to us constantly. You might not realize how much where you are affects what you can watch online. For instance, Netflix has over 18,000 titles in their catalog, but in the US, you only get about 6,500 of them. That means you can't see over 2/3 of the content they actually have on there. That's why our sponsor, ExpressVPN, has been useful for me when I'm researching these videos. It's an essential part of a movie nerd's toolkit. And hey, if you're gonna use a VPN, you may as well use a VPN that's rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, and TechRadar, and countless others. ExpressVPN lets you change your online location with a single click of a button. They have over 100 countries that you can choose to appear from. So let's say you want to watch Parasite on Netflix. It's not available in the US, but If you can use ExpressVPN to tell Netflix you're in Canada, then you're good to go, eh? This works for thousands of other shows too, so if you can't find what you're looking for, just look up where it's playing online, and chances are they have it. The app works on your phone, your laptop, even smart TVs, so you can watch your shows from the comfort of your couch or on the go, and it's super fast, so there is zero buffering. So to make sure you take advantage of all that your streamers have to offer, go to expressvpn.com/newrockstars to get an additional 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Now, we could interpret this as Deadpool's mental illness or maybe his unhinged personality, but I think this trait physically began after he received the serum, which many believe was Wolverine's DNA, and endured the extreme stress to trigger a mutation that gave him his healing powers. I mentioned this idea of a blood transfusion because something very similar happened with Jennifer Walters in She-Hulk. When Jen was in the car with Bruce in the chronologically earliest scene of that show, she could not see past the fourth wall, but after getting Bruce's blood in her bloodstream and becoming She-Hulk, when she's in Mexico, she starts turning to camera and talks to us regularly. And what I found pretty disturbing about this is that when Jen does this on that Mexican beach while training with Bruce, Bruce turns around, confused. He notices that Jen is talking to something. What does Bruce think is going on in this moment? The fact that he reacts at all tells us that these glances at the camera are not just like a theatrical Brechtian presentational convention, but this is something these characters are doing in their worlds that is noticed, at least in part, by others in that world. And that is why Paradox wants Wade Wilson. He sees this as a supernatural ability. Now, speaking of supernatural, we should also talk about Wanda Maximoff, because she also broke the fourth wall, the creepiest moment of Multiverse of Madness, when she dream walks into an alternate reality Wanda and looks at us. And of course, there are the full events of the WandaVision show, where especially in episode 7, she gives a series of talking heads interviews directly to camera. But we have to view WandaVision a bit separately, because people have noted that like Agatha Harkness breaks the fourth wall in a similar way, like during the Agatha All Along song. But truly, Agatha's communication there was for an intended audience of Wanda, and it was all within Wanda's hex. Agatha All Along was Agatha's confession to Wanda, everything she had been doing, and Agatha used the medium of Wanda's sitcom aesthetic to render that confession as a Munsters-style theme song. But Wanda, She-Hulk, and Deadpool all share an ability to see reality as a TV show or a movie, and I think that ability will be explained as a glitch or a paradox, and that's why Paradox's name is Paradox. It's a glitch caused by each of them violating a sacred rule. They violated a rule that a power is meant for a specific individual, and the way they violated it is by accidentally causing that power to be distributed across 2 individuals in a way that it wasn't supposed to. And in these singular cases, it just overloaded the code of reality in these specific points to make these specific beings Nexus beings. Deadpool has some of Wolverine's life force in him, She-Hulk has some of Hulk's life force in her, and 838 Wanda literally had another Wanda's life inside of her body. Now, these aren't just examples of different heroes with similar power sets derived from each other. That happens all the time. In these specific cases, the transference displaced their minds from reality in a specific way that they can now see the cinematic fabric of reality. They can see us. And this is why I think it's a different division of the TVA that's dealing with this, overseen by a character named Paradox. Now, yes, Mr. Paradox is a TVA character in the comics, but Ouroboros' name in Loki Season 2 was a reflection of his closed loop function, and I think Paradox's job is to explore the fringe science of Nexus beings in the MCU, because these beings are able to see the glitches of the Matrix that no one else can. Like other MCU characters only see incursions as something individuals cause with things like dark magic or cosmic radiation, but Paradox knows that there is a deeper erosion of logic afoot, and he needs someone who can see the Matrix code as its true nature. Paradox is going to want to send Deadpool back in time to fix the various plot holes and goofy retcons that happened in these movie universes to erode that logic. But as I pointed out in Wednesday's 20 More Details video, we see that Deadpool actually visits the gravesite of Wolverine from the 2017 Logan film. The fallen tree, the overturned truck, that's the Canadian border. And so Deadpool is going to find the source of his regenerative power and see Wolverine as a cure to his cosmic curse of always talking to no one and just kind of living this life of ironic detachment.
It's over. Go home.
So Deadpool's mission is gonna change. It's gonna change to saving Wolverine at the cost of everything else, whatever it takes. Even when the best thing to happen to the X-Men franchise was for Wolverine to finally be killed off in that movie. This movie is called Deadpool and Wolverine because Deadpool is gonna face the choice of saving the multiverse or saving a long-lost friend and blood brother. And so the 20th Century Fox logo wasn't just pruned to show how the X-Men movie universe is being erased. Yes, that's probably part of it, but the fact that they built a practical set rather than just put this as a VFX background detail is to give Wade Wilson something to touch, to feel, and to react to show that he has a specific relationship with reality that no one else has, other than maybe She-Hulk and maybe Wanda. It's not about the reality, it's about the character and what is going on inside his head and why he is broken in this specific way. Comment down below with your thoughts and theories about what's going on in this movie. Support New Rockstars by grabbing one of these shirts of the Deadpool Multiverse Tour. You can get it at nerdright.shop. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.